Bienvenue à les Affaires Brassicoles, votre balado sur l'entrepreneuriat brassicole du Québec, avec Leonardo Calcagno de Baron Mac.
Bonjour tout le monde, ici Leonardo Calcagno des Affaires Brassicoles. J'espère que vous allez bien et que vous passez une bonne semaine avec tous les festivals qui s'en viennent. Comme vous savez, Baron Mag, on est partenaire puis commanditaire de la Canada Cup qui s'en vient à Québec dans le temps de la l'AMBQ. Puis on s'est dit que c'est bon parler un petit peu avec les juges, connaître un peu ce qui se passe. De plus en plus, vous allez voir quelques entrevues par écrit, quelques entrevues par podcast, par audio, sur les juges avec qui on parle. Si vous avez des questions, comme toujours, leonardo@baronmac.com. Et bien sûr, ce podcast est commandité par INNOMALT. INNOMALT, c'est une compagnie qui vous offre du malt de qualité ici au Québec pour tous vos besoins de brassicole. Si vous avez des questions, info@innomalt.ca. Aujourd'hui, on va parler avec Heather Cranston. C'est celle qui va être dans un des juges dans le Packaging Award Packaging. Parce qu'on va parler un petit peu, on va savoir un petit peu comment on devient juge, number one, c'est quoi son background, puis bien sûr, comment parler comment on commence à juger à l'arrière de tout le packaging, puis quel soit le packaging qu'elle fait, parce qu'à travers vraiment, si vous allez sur son site, qu'on va laisser sur le podcast, il y a plein de travail qu'elle a fait. On commence notre entrevue. Hi Heather, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fine. Thank you very much for taking your time from, what was it again?
Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay. How's
Yeah,
it
in Ontario.
Is it hot? Is it cold? What is it?
It's medium.
It's medium.
It's medium, which is kind of the way I like it.
Is it Shania Twain home?
No, that's Timmins. But I mean, all the Northern Ontario places are sort of interchangeable. Thunder Bay is much closer to Manitoba. Like it's almost Kenora, verging on Winnipeg. So
okay, excellent. First of all, thank you very much for taking your time for doing an interview with us this morning. Like I said, this year we're helping out the Canadian Cup to have more people to vote, stuff like that. And as a triple education, there's one thing we always wonder is how do you vote? How do you stuff like that? I went to your website. You have done crazy, amazing stuff. Like we love very Scandinavian kind of look, kind of going like that. So pretty much it doesn't look on our side, but we're a fan of a Scandinavian look and all the design. We're a big fan of Monaco magazine. But before we start talking about how you judge, can you tell us about your company and how's a little bit of your background?
Yeah, Pulp and Paper is about 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
I like to say that I climbed the corporate ladder backwards. So I went away to design school. I got a job right out of school at a large agency and did work right away for some huge corporate clients with a team, but nonetheless, those were the clients that I was working on. And I wanted to do like the small nitty-gritty designy boutique jobs, and those were just not a part of this agency. Every once in a while, the CEO would have to do a favor for a neighbor or something, and those were like, and we have to design a menu. Oh, eye roll. And I would just grab that stuff up. I couldn't get enough of it. After a few years there, I moved back to Ontario, kind of to Thunder Bay as a stopping point before I thought I was going to continue east, and worked at an agency here that was similar, but smaller market. So same type of clients, but just smaller scale. But again, like the telecoms and the hospital and the university and the corporate clients. And again, couldn't get enough of the small boutique jobs that didn't really exist. So after having a couple of children and scaling back on agency time and whatever else, I worked doing communications and social media for a small not-for-profit called Roots to Harvest, which is now part of Community Food Centers Canada. A great network with a lot of other kind of opportunities to do other things, and started Pulp and Paper. So Pulp and Paper became an agency that I ran kind of 3 or 4 days a week while still doing work for Roots to Harvest. And it snowballed very quickly into something that was kind of more than full-time. And that was 6 years ago. So I found my way to the small boutique design packaging jobs, making lots of large corporate clients along the way, which has definitely helped matters.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I always tell people when I do consultation, there's a lot of good clients locally that people don't understand, and they need
Yeah.
changing. We are Baron Meg. We have a small company in the side that we do a lot of packaging and branding for tons of beer companies and
Oh, cool.
equipment companies, stuff like that. So I understand your point of view.
Yeah.
How did you get into the beer? Because you're a judge in packaging for sure. I've seen your work; it's amazing work. But well, how did you get into the alcohol one?
I think lots of my work is packaging based, but definitely on the food side. I think just being in the similar industry and kind of circle of lots of people that are kind of eyes on the same thing. I was approached last year by somebody who was looking for, I guess, judges.
Okay. So it wasn't nothing like you're like a local hero of doing beer stuff like that. It's not like that.
No, I don't know that anybody classifies me as a local hero for anything. I would love to be the local hero of beer, but I can't say that I am.
Well, if you have time, maybe you can be a local hero of beer and Tim. I mean, where you're right now.
Yes.
One of the reason we're doing interviews with everybody is to understand how you judge, because I talk to everybody, and it's judging sometimes is very. I mean, you want to be professional as much, but you have your own style, you have your stuff like that. So how does it work? How does do they send you tons of packaging? Do you only do cans? Do you do also the boxing? What kind of design you have? What are you responsible of these in this section here?
I'm not sure what category I'll be responsible for just yet this year. Last year, I think it was broken into single series, like things like the box or the case. If you're looking at a die line, I believe I only voted within the singles category.
Yeah.
There were a number of different kind of subcategories within that, but we worked as little groups or teams to kind of do a preliminary and get to 10 finalists. And then there was another round of judging where you were voting on the finalists within a separate category that you hadn't already looked at. I believe some of the categories are a lot larger than others. So some of the images that they were sharing might have been pre-vetted. The stuff that we were receiving was all great. And there's always things that stand out and things that are maybe further down the line. But the quality of the work that was submitted was great.
Yeah, it changed a lot. I remember when we started 8 years ago, covering the industry with a lot of bad things, a lot of cheap stuff.
Yeah.
I've done, and now you see amazing stuff. We talk with a lot of our clients here, or when we talk to like people that design cans, stuff like that. It's pretty amazing what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of designers from Canada are right now in the US also, because they're growing a lot. So how do you judge? Because like I said, you have your own way to check your art. There's just some stuff you like more. So how do you judge everything? How do you go, okay, this is going to work?
Yeah, that's a good question. I try not to base it so much on my own personal style and if I would have designed this or not. And I am looking at the illustration or the art that's included, but also what does the typography look like, and what does the hierarchy look like, and does it feel like it goes hand in hand with the branding or with the maybe the other things that are submitted within the same brewery. There's always ones that like the art or the illustration is phenomenal, and you can tell that like they have sought out some artist who is just going to knock that illustration side out of the park. But then the logo is illegible, the spacing is weird, nothing has been kerned, and like those things make it fall flat. And I think the ones that you can look at and like they've got the illustration, they've nailed all those other things, and the sensibility is there. It looks like it's kind of been handled with an extra level of expertise or care. I think those ones are set themselves apart.
Do you have like a chart of when you see stuff like that, you go, this is missing, this is not, stuff like that? Do you have your own personal chart when you see stuff like that?
I probably have my own personal like Rolodex of things that I flip through of like the make or break, or like the things that are going to kill it for me. They do provide a bit of a matrix so that we're all judging based on I think like there is a typography category, and one of the things is hierarchy. So we're all kind of evaluating from the same basis.
Okay. Maybe weird question. Is it better to have simple, like very clean, kind of like Scandinavian art, or is it better to have busier and more for beer? What is better for you? Because I think of your work, I mean, I like a lot what you did with the Woodside and Good and Market.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's pretty nice. Very Berlin. It looks like a Berlin restaurant like that. It's kind of weird that is that there. So tell me, what is better for you? I mean, I know some breweries they need to be busy because that's their look in the first place. But we see more and more people getting more simpler, more cleaner. What is better for you? What do you think?
Well, that's complicated. I think my personal style is maybe influenced a bit by like the Scandinavian vibe. Thunder Bay has a lot of Finlanders, huge population of Finn people in Thunder Bay.
Good to know.
But I love the detail, like the get into the nitty gritty. How many details can you hide? So I'm kind of, I would say like a hybrid between that like modern simplistic Scandinavian feel, but like I want to jam it with details. So I am drawn to that in other people's design as well. With packaging, some of them were very simplistic, to the point that it's hard to justify the merit other than like, that's a brave choice. There were a lot that leaned the complete opposite side with kind of this psychedelic is the best way that I can describe. More is more, a bit acid trippy. There's a fine line between like what is just hard to digest and good details for the sake of being clever. And I think that the details need to make it more clever, not more busy.
Yeah, because you need to sell, and I think there's a lot of people that put too much information that you don't need to. People, they just want to drink an IPA, stuff like that. So how do you see the trends right now in how you call it in packaging right now in Canada? I mean, I'm sure you only have Ontario, maybe some. If you travel a little bit across Canada, you can see a little bit what's happening. Well, how do you see the packaging right now in food and how you call it in wine and beer right now? Because I have the chance to go to CL every year.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the packaging changing, like tofu companies are not hippie anymore. They're putting very nice stuff and all that food. So how do you see because you work with packaging, how do you see the packaging across Canada trends right now?
I think it may be a little bit different in the food side of things versus the beer side. And I'm interested to see if the food trends are going to trickle into the beer trends. There is a whole thing of like, for the sake of giving it a name, you could call it Gen Z packaging. And it's like the overly stylized bubble letters that almost look like it could be for like those snack candies that Gushers. If you're from the early 80s. I am
too, the word. I am.
Look like it could be from something like that, fruit snacks. But it is that like overly stylized, hot colors, excessively large type that exists so much in like the food side of things right now. I'm curious to see if that's going to like trickle into beer. I was starting to notice last year the things that were standing out were packages that were relying heavily on finishes, whether it was a metallic can that they were die cutting part of the label so that the aluminum could show through, or printing on clear film.
That's true. I've seen that in tomatoes and stuff like that. It's true. I've seen that in tomatoes. And tomatoes and cucumbers and a couple of cherries. I've been seeing that. That's true.
Yes, lots of bottles, like the beer, whether they're howlers or not, like a 1 liter bottle of beer where there's a paper label, and now all of a sudden there's an emboss or there's a foil, or it's like the extra techniques that you can't do on the aluminum can. But with the cans themselves, lots of show through areas, or printing a plaid where the aluminum can become part of that plaid, or so on. Was kind of what I was starting to notice at the beginning of last year, and I'm curious to see if that's progressed or if that was a gimmick at the time.
It's always, so there's always some gimmick somewhere always.
Yeah.
For our readers, that because our readers are brewers, people from the wine industries like that, I always tell them it's important packaging. How important is packaging for sales?
Yes.
Is it important? Please tell them.
Absolutely. It is like, there's a reason that there is a saying, maybe, I don't know if this is a French saying or not, but don't judge a book by its cover. The reason that that saying is so prevalent is because we all judge the book by its cover, and will continue to do so in the world of like anything that you're picking up on a visual basis, like a book or a package or a bottle. I do lots of work for a company based out of Northern Ontario called Canada West Maple. And I use them as an example all the time, and have said to him personally, like, when I use this example, I'm not dissing your maple syrup, no disrespect to maple syrup, but maple syrup comes from a tree, and there are different things that you can do to boil it faster or slower. But the maple syrup that gets in the bottle is not your original recipe. That is coming from a tree. So he has done so well with that syrup and shipped it from one end of Canada to the other and outside of Canada. But it's maple syrup, and the packaging makes it.
That's the one you were talking about. The company is the one with the blueberry maple syrup and all the red stuff also?
They do. The blueberry maple syrup is actually a collaboration with a brewery who makes a Forgotten Lake blueberry ale. So there is a small amount of that within that blueberry syrup. The other bottle is the red bottle with kind of the lumberjack looking guy on the front, but he's done it in a number of sizes, and there's smaller black bottles if you wanted like a black label for a wedding favor or whatever else. But that syrup has done so well for him. The little flask has kind of become his flagship thing.
It's pretty beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, the packaging, the box and everything is very nice.
But at the end of the day, it's basically the same maple syrup as everyone else is selling. But it's the packaging that sets it apart.
Excellent. Well, Heather, thank you very much for your time. I know it's early in the morning. Me too. It's very early in the morning here in Quebec.
Yeah.
Are you going to be here in Quebec? Are you coming for the event, or you're staying in Thunder Bay?
We don't have final dates yet, so we'll figure out when the preliminary judging is and then when the finalist judging round is, and I'll see what I can do. I visited Montreal last December, so I feel like I need to get back that way in the summertime or fall time.
Well, it's Quebec City. Quebec City is colder, man. It's more way colder than Montreal.
Yeah, but not as
Thunder Bay is colder than whatever. So thank you very much, Heather. And then if I will put all the information of your company, stuff like that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Also working with the Canada Cup.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup à tout le monde d'avoir écouté les Affaires Brassicoles. Si vous avez des questions concernant Heather, on va mettre l'information là-dessus. Rappelez-vous que c'est une série qu'on fait pour le Canada Cup. C'est commandité par INNOMALT. INNOMALT, c'est une compagnie basée au Québec qui crée du malt de qualité pour la bière ici au Québec et ailleurs. Si vous avez des questions, info@innomalt.ca. Si vous avez des questions pour moi, info@leonardo@baromag.com. Bien sûr, abonnez-vous à notre infolette, toujours à notre infolette. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine.